to PePo-time. Bienvenido mi gente. We are here in Shelton, Connecticut, aka The Shotty. For the ones that know, stand up. For the ones that just found out, now you're in the know. Yo, ¿quién soy? My name is Carlos Castro. I'm a simple guy with lots of goals, lots of ideas, with a positive outlook at life. Este programa siempre ha sido un sueño mío, por mucho tiempo. A mí me encanta cocinar, me encanta entretener y las conversaciones con amistades y familia es lo mejor que me puede pasar. El propósito de este programa es para indicarles que un electricista con bien poco entrenamiento también puede cocinar al nivel dishwasher. I'm fucking with you. But let's get serious for a minute here. I will be inviting some guests that have built and worked so hard in their careers or businesses and to get where they are today. And we'll be breaking bread, having a conversation, and talking about all the obstacles they have faced in life and how they overcame it. PePo-time hopes that the advice that our guests give you helps you keep motivated and keep pushing forward because times can get tough. And in everyone's life, sometimes a brick wall can just come out and smack you right in the face. But with the words or some simple advice from somebody that has lived it, can just be all we need, all that extra push to jump over those brick walls or just bang right through those brick walls. Pero para una conversación así, necesitamos una comida deliciosa. Y lo que yo voy a hacer, antes del programa, yo conversé con nuestros invitados y les pregunté, ¿qué es sus platos favoritos? Y yo les voy a preparar y le voy a meter todo corazón que pueda, full effort, para que salga Pepo. Hello everybody, welcome to PePo-time. We have another episode for you and have an amazing guest today. We have Jimmy Ticky, elected planning and zoning of Shelton, Connecticut. Please, Jimmy, join us today.
Thank you so much.
Is my good friend Jimmy from high school, and we're here today.
Thank you for having me.
No problem, Jimmy. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you.
So, we're going to make some amazing food.
All right.
And right now, we're going to start off with a little carbonara. Have you ever had carbonara?
I have.
All right. Have you ever made carbonara?
I have never made carbonara.
All right. So, it's a very easy dish. It's very simple to do. We're going to start with the pretty much, you're not supposed to say it, but it is a sauce. It's the egg sauce that goes in there and it binds the pasta all together in deliciousness. So this is what it is. Right now we got 4 eggs in here. We're gonna batter the eggs real quick. You wanna try it out?
Okay.
Batter them out real quick. While you're doing that, I'm gonna start the pan.
Okay.
So we get the bacon going, the mushrooms going, and all that good stuff going.
All right.
There we go, nice and beaten.
Good.
All right, and after that, we're gonna throw in the cheeses. So we're gonna go a little bit of this, with a little bit of this, and then a little creme fraiche. And then we're just gonna beat it again.
Okay.
Just beat it.
There we go.
There it is. All right. Put a little olive oil over here in the big pan. I like using the wok. I actually really enjoy using the wok. It's a big pan. Heats up very well everywhere. Cooks well with everything. Makes everything a little bit faster and smoother. All right. Let's throw in. But it's not bacon. This is prosciutto. The prosciutto. There we go. All right. Throw that in a little bit. Let's cook that out. What are we doing? Yeah, keep mixing that.
Keep going.
Keep mixing.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Mix, mix, mix. That's the secret right there.
Keep mixing.
Keep mixing, making it delicious.
Yeah, it looks good. It smells good.
And honestly, that's what makes carbonara. I didn't know that until recently because this is my first time making carbonara just for you. Well, my second time because I had to practice. It's always a practice period.
Always a practice. No, looks good. Looks good to me.
So Jimmy, tell me, what's your skills in the kitchen? Are you like a nice, solid, like, let's go, I can make whatever you want? Or you're more like, hey, let me pull out a quick computer real quick and see what we can order
Yeah,
out?
somewhere in between. You know, I would say I'm beginner, but I think I'm more intermediate now.
Okay.
I think I would need to take a look to be really confident with the dish. I do like baking. I'd probably be more quick to bake a dessert than I would to make a full meal. But if I had to do the full meal, I'm going to look up the recipe and figure out what goes in it.
Now, see, now me for baking, well, good. I'm not a baker. You know
So you cook and then I'll bake.
That's it.
All right,
Double
that's
team
what
it.
we'll do. What got you interested in cooking like this?
I've been into cooking since I was 16.
Wow.
My mother always cooked. She cooked amazing food. I always loved her food. So that's what always made me, want to be in that level. And there were certain things that she couldn't make, but she enjoyed. And I just looked into it, found them, did them, and she enjoyed them. And that really got me into that.
And then everyone gets to enjoy in the meal you created.
Yes. Yeah, I was, before I became an electrician, I wanted to become a chef. My parents are the ones that kind of took me out of it just because of, I'm a big family man. Mm-hmm. And, I love time with family. And when you cook, you got to work the holidays. There's no holidays off.
Well, now you get the best of both worlds.
Yes,
there.
I do. Now it's time for me to get back in the kitchen, entertain, feed, and enjoy.
Yeah.
So what's your favorite dish?
My favorite dish. So I love pasta. Half Italian. I love pasta. I love pork chops. I love steak.
Okay.
Yeah.
We got pork chops going over here. Let's put this over here. I'm going to season this very, very simple. Salt, pepper, nothing crazy.
Okay.
And we're going to do that. And then we're going to do a little bit of butter when we start, kind of pan-sear it. And then we're going to do a little garlic in there. And we'll just crush garlic. And then we're just going to baste. Okay. Just like a steak. You do steaks?
I can do a steak, yep.
Pan-sear steak, always on the grill.
I probably have done it more on a grill.
Yeah, see, I'm a big fan of pan-sear.
Ooh,
I like the crisp. I like the...
Well, I'm excited to see this.
I like the butter. Oh, yeah? You never done it like this?
No.
Okay.
See it. Still kind of a beginner with some things, so.
Yeah, no.
These look great.
You just got to go at it. Do what you need to do. Figure it out. Don't get scared. Open up for a little bit.
And so have you taught yourself pretty much trial and error?
Yes, I always taught myself. I haven't been professionally educated. So trained. There we go. Just mostly like my mom and then YouTube. Palate is very important. I know what I like to taste, and I kind of know. I feel like I kind of understand chefs because the palate is what matters. So the more you taste food, the more random things you taste, the more you can put flavors together. I'm not there at all because I'm very simple. I got some seasonings here. I try these seasonings here. I'll try this here and there. But, to actually get to that level, you really have to explore, go to different restaurants and go to different places and really, really get a grasp of what flavoring is, texturizing is, and cutting. Cutting is so important. Making everything the same, make everything come out equally, makes everything look pretty, and it makes it taste better because it opens up flavors. When you cut everything the same or thinner or thicker, depending what you're making.
So what are you making over there now?
This is the basis for the carbonara.
That smells good.
So the carbonara, as simple as this. We fry this up. We'll put a little bit of the pasta water in here. It's gonna sparkle.
Yeah, I love that pasta water.
All right. Some more water.
So in that pan, you put that, I see mushrooms.
Mushrooms, garlic, and prosciutto.
Yes.
Prosciutto, right? Shoot. A little bit of parsley.
All right.
Give it a little green, give it a little more flavor. And all we're gonna do literally. Now we're gonna stick our pasta in here. We're gonna turn the stove really low because we don't want the eggs to overcook and turn into like scrambled eggs.
Okay.
So we're gonna turn it nice and low, and then we're gonna keep mixing it with a little more pasta water, and then we're gonna put the mixture in there.
Okay.
So I didn't rinse the water out of the pasta. And the reason I did that is because I want that pasta water in this. It makes a big difference.
All those good starches.
Yes, all that good starches, and also makes the egg not be all clumpy and become into like I said, scrambled eggs. It keeps it all nicely, and it'll make it nice.
That's a good tip.
Yeah. So Jimmy, what do you cook at home every day? What's your thing?
At home every day. Well, chicken's always very easy, so I might do a chicken cutlet, might do some pasta, some rice. I really need you in the kitchen to really expand my palate here. I've never made this, so this is really fun to watch. So now I know how to do a carbonara.
It's not that hard. It's all about mixing, just prepping, and timing. Simple recipe, a lot of good things. You pass me the peas over there?
Put them in.
Yeah, put it right there. There we go. A little more pasta water. And all we do is just mix. And carbonara is ready. Yeah. All right.
Sit down.
So now we're gonna go dinner. It's dinner time. Jimmy's gonna sit down and we're gonna give him his appetizer, and we're gonna get the pork chops ready after that.
I hope you're enjoying this episode. Hit that button on the right to subscribe.
Here you go, Jimmy.
Ooh.
Jimmy, please enjoy.
Oh my
Let me know how it tastes.
All right.
Carbonara that me and you did together. Let's do it.
Looks and smells great.
Yes. All right.
I should. Going to need this. I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
Gotta be here for the first time, no? See how it tastes. Careful, it's a little hot. Good? All right, let's go.
Really good.
All right.
And you know, for pasta, not heavy. You know, not like a heavy pasta.
No.
Nice flavor.
So the carbonara, that's why it's, like I said, it's supposed to be an appetizer. So it shouldn't be too heavy on the belly, so you can actually have the main meal. I don't have limoncello, because that's the Italian thing between the drinks, right? Before the food, right?
That would be.
So Jimmy, let's talk about a little bit about you. What exactly got you into politics and to get elected for planning and zoning?
You know, I think I just wanted to get involved in my town. You know, we're from the same town, Carlos, and so wanting to get more involved when I was in high school, and then when I came back from college, wanting to make a difference and try to do some of the things that I thought we should have growing up. So more events in our downtown, more things to do for young people, more businesses. And so I've been on the Planning and Zoning Commission now for the last 10 years.
Wow. Wow. So what did you study in school that got you prepared for this, or was this just an afterthought?
You know, I studied business and business administration. So I never studied politics. I never studied government. I really thought I would be going into maybe business. But when I came back home, I really had the passion to get involved in our town. And so, no, I haven't studied professionally any of this, but I think in some ways that might have been more helpful. I really kind of just threw myself at it and learned through trial and error and through getting involved in my town, never being involved in politics, but ultimately running for office.
Wow, I did not know that.
Yeah.
I thought you went into school studying for something to be a politician. That's so dope.
Mm-hmm.
So what kind of hurdles did you kind of struggle with to get where you are now? Like what your first election? You know what I'm saying? Who helped you out?
Right.
Who was the guy that guided you to be here? Who's the one that pushed you, or was just always just you pushing yourself?
I think you have to know that you want to do something. I think you can tell when a candidate is maybe not authentic. You have to want to do it. You have to want to do the work. But I had never been involved in politics, so I didn't know anybody in politics. And so I got to meet some of the folks that were involved locally and met some great mentors like Bob Lally, who has been around in Shelton for a very long time and really mentored me and others. And so I learned through him how you can run for office and how you can get involved. So mentors make a big difference. And now that I have been involved for as long as I have, I try to meet young people who want to get involved and try to show them they too should get involved. And we need more people to run for office that maybe don't come from a political background, but have some ideas about their town. They too should get involved.
That's awesome, because this is literally why we're doing the show. It's try to get people involved, show them that, you know, there's not just one way of life. Even though you went for business, you ended up in politics. You know what I'm saying? And you enjoy it, you love it. And the reason you did it is to help your town, help the people that you know, the place that you grew up in. That's awesome. So your first election, was it scary?
I think so, but having never run, you don't know what you don't know. So it was kind of a wonderful thing to just throw yourself at it and not really know what's going to come of it. But then once you know, my re-election, when I ran again, then you start to know what the stakes are and you start to know what to expect. It's not always a walk in the park. Some days are tough. Sometimes you get attacked unnecessarily, but you enter the arena and you got to stay focused on why you're doing it. If you're doing it to make a difference for people in the town, then you just stay focused. Keep door knocking, talk to voters, talk to people about the issues, and if they believe in you, you'll be sent back.
The first time you got elected, how did that feel? Was it an amazing feeling?
I think so.
Proud moment?
Yeah.
Achievement? What kind of feelings came over you?
Well, I first ran for the budgeting board in Shelton, and because I thought I really want to learn how the town works. Where do we spend our money? Where does the money flow? Where does it go to? And so that's what I first ran for, and I was really happy to have won, and just to get involved. And one of my mentors once told me, "You have 2 ears and 1 mouth." And that was from Bob Lally. And so that always stayed with me. So I really paid attention and listened a lot in my first term. Maybe didn't do a lot of talking, but listened. So that when I then, a couple years later, decided to run for the Planning and Zoning Commission, which is really competitive, I really had a good understanding about the town because I spent several years really listening, doing my homework.
So what's next for Jimmy?
I don't know. Just carbonara.
So if there's any advice that you can give right now somebody out there, what would it be?
I really think more people need to get involved that are not historically involved in politics. And I think a lot of people will say, oh, but I'm not political. It's not about partisan politics. If you have ideas, we need more people to get involved at the local and state level. So I really encourage people and young people to get involved and just try it out and get into the arena. And I think they'll like it, and we need more new people and young people involved on boards and commissions making these decisions for their towns and for their future. What is your favorite food, Carlos?
My favorite food?
Yeah.
Oh, my favorite food has to be seafood. It would have to be my mom's sopa de marinera. It's a seafood soup. Ooh. Or the ceviches. I love ceviche. But all food is my favorite food.
A seafood soup. So what goes into that?
It's pretty much a base of red pepper, green pepper, onion, garlic. Then on top of that base, you start putting liquid in once it gets nice, like sofrito, a little bit of fried. And once it gets fried, you start adding liquid. You start adding water. All right. Yeah, so seafood soup, and it has a sofrito, and then we put liquid in it, and then once it starts boiling, we put plantain in it.
Oh,
So it gives that plantain flavor
Love
into
plantain.
it, and it's delicious. And once the plantain flavor goes into it, that's when once it's nice and cooked, that's when you put in all the seafood. We put in shrimp, calamari, clams, mussels, also salmon. And it just comes out good with some cilantro on top. You just boil that all together in that
Beautiful.
broth. It's so amazing. And you take it out and you put some lime on top of it. Peppo. All right, Jimmy.
This
It's
looks
a pork chop and scalloped
awesome.
potatoes. Give it a try.
Looks
Let me know how it
excellent.
tastes.
I'm gonna try one of the potatoes first.
Do it up. All right.
Wow, those
Yeah?
potatoes, yeah,
All right.
excellent scalloped potatoes.
Good. So, Jimmy. How did your parents take the news when it went from I'm starting business in college, oh, you know what? I'm going to be a politician now and I'm going to do something for Shelton. Were they happy about it? Like, all right, Jimmy, let's go.
You know, they really have been so supportive. So I think they were ready and willing to kind of go on this ride, not
Yeah?
knowing where it might lead. But they could tell that I was passionate about it, and so they were there and ready to drop lawn signs and be there and kind of just go on that journey together. And running for office, much like starting a business, is a family affair.
Yes.
Everyone was expected to help because one person can't do it alone. You are trying to crisscross a town or a district, talk to thousands of people. It's really all hands on deck.
So once you decided, once you say, hey, look, I'm going to I want to do planning and zoning. That's what I want to do. I want to help, plan the Shelton coming up in the future. And I want to make sure everything is done correctly. Once you decided that, you said, okay, I'm going to run, right? Your next step was to get a mentor. You got your mentor, you got all that going. And then what was it? Like, what was it that just said, all right, I need to make these signs and I got to go out there and I got to put them out there. Was there ever a time that you doubted that you were doing the right thing? Or this was your calling?
I think when you're out there campaigning, you're talking to people every day. Some days are better than other days. Some days you might think, wow, I barely talked to anybody today. I'm trying to knock on doors and nobody was home. Sometimes you don't have a conversation that's that inspiring. So you're wondering kind of, wow, this was a rough day. But one day at a time, you build a campaign, you talk to people, door to door, block by block, community by community. And on the whole, you'll feel if you're doing a good job in connecting with people. And then you start doing the work. When you get elected, you're really there to do the work. And that's easy part is campaigning. The harder part is when you're in office, then making decisions about what you think is best for the town and for the people that you serve.
So now, when you first started running, you must have been mighty young.
Mm-hmm.
How was that, talking to the older crowd?
I think, given all the things they could have said about me, I think the most shocking was that they said, he's really young. I think I was maybe 20 or 21 when I first ran. So I think I'm not sure if I hold the title as the youngest, but I just may. I was young. I didn't think it, was a thing.
So did you run knowing you were going to win or like manifesting, I'm going to win this? Or did you run knowing, let me look for how this is and next year I'll do better?
I run to win. So I think I said, we're going to do this. We're going to make this happen. We're going to make this happen.
And you did?
Yeah.
And you did?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
And then I've seen other young people get involved. And then also when you're on planning and zoning, you're building apartments, you're building businesses, you're building industry. And a lot of those people that come before our commission will say, well, young people are looking for this. Young people want to live here. So who better than a young person to be on the commission that's making the decisions about apartments and residences and businesses and shops and eateries in downtown than a young person who's from the town. So again, that's why I think more young people, need to get involved because a lot of the decisions that are being made, they're keeping in mind all people in the town, but especially young people and people who might be moving in. So we need a lot of those voices represented.
Very cool.
Pork chop is great. Mm-hmm.
What is the most impactful thing you have done in your career and for Shelton so far that you believe that you were like, that was a trend for me, that was a win, that's such a big deal in my career?
You know, sometimes it's fighting for things. Sometimes it's making sure things don't happen that were proposed that I don't think would be helpful to the town. So sometimes you got to speak up, not be afraid, and you got to speak up against big interests and say, I really don't think that fits here or in this town or doesn't make sense there, and try to think about what's really thoughtful planning and how the town should develop. And even if sometimes I've gone out and I've been the first person to say something, then others might say, you know, I'm with you. I hear you. And then you can change the conversation. One person can make a difference on a small commission, and you really can. One person can make a difference. I've seen it. So start the conversation, and sometimes it's fighting for developments that bring good jobs and for apartments and residences, a lot of them to make sure that there's workforce housing and affordable housing. But sometimes making sure, is it consistent with the town? Is it something that we need, and not being afraid to stand up to a developer if it's something that you don't think is in the best interest of the town.
Do you get a lot of pushback more from the developers or from state officials when something doesn't go like the way people were thinking of? Who pushes back more, harder?
Well, if you don't approve something, obviously the applicant or the developer is not going to be thrilled, you know, by that outcome. But again, you have to keep in mind, who are you there to represent? You're there to represent the town and the people of the town. And so you stay focused on what approvals make sense, what developments make sense. And I've tried to do a lot for downtown Shelton, add more parking to the downtown, more walkable streets. Let's take pride in our streets so that it's easy and fun to park and walk around and go to some of the shops. And you're seeing a lot of the shops and eateries, but we don't want them to be a victim of their own success, meaning they're doing so well, but there's no place to park. So making sure that we're thinking about downtown holistically, all in a big way about how does it all connect? Parking, lighting, streets, walkable sidewalks, businesses, it's all connected. So I think that kind of planning takes time, but it's worth it to make sure that we get it right with downtown planning.
Very cool, very cool. So it sounds like you have a lot of passion for this, a lot of love for this. All right, Jimmy. So president someday?
I don't know about that.
President Jimmy Ticky?
I don't know about that.
Well, Jimmy, thank you for coming today. Like always,
Excellent.
I want to thank God for giving us this opportunity to sit here, enjoy this meal, have a good conversation with my friend Jimmy here. Hopefully someone out there that's trying to get into this politic world took some advice from him, sees that it doesn't matter how young you are, it doesn't matter where you studied, as long as you have a strong head, you want it, you manifest it, and you push forward, you can make it happen. Support and love is always needed. So if you have that from your family, it's even better. But I don't think that's the golden ticket to get you elected. The golden ticket is you driving yourself to be who you want to be. So Jimmy, today, we spent about $80 on this meal.
Okay.
And, you know, I was hoping that you could donate that to a charity of your liking. Any charity that you like to donate to?
I will give to the Lower Naugatuck Valley Boys and Girls Club.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And here at PePo-time, as we always do, we'll match that charity and we'll also be donating to them. So everybody, thank you for joining us. Jimmy, a couple closing words?
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. This was delicious. Thank you, Carlos. I was so happy to be here, and thanks everybody for tuning in, and I will come back for seconds another time.
All right.
Let's do it.
So everybody, hope you had a good time, and we're going to say goodbye from PePo-time.